Hi, I'm JKB, and today on the show I'm sick, but I've decided to do Halo 5 even though I'm sick. The thing I have to say here is I'm splitting the review into two. So next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, you'll get the full end of the review. So right now I'm just going to talk about the single player campaign, the good, the bad, and extreme ugly. Then on Wednesday, I will finish off with the multiplayer and the final score. So the score right now is not going to be here. I'm just going to give it a final score because I don't want to confuse people, because it seems like people get confused when they see the 10 out of 10 up there. And they go, what is it? He gave Halo 5 a 10 out of 10. He gave that a 10. No, watch the whole review and you'll know what I'm doing. I'm going up and down with the score based on different key points I point out of the game. So yeah, okay, here, let's just do this. As always, I asked you guys on Twitter and Facebook, what do you want to know about the game? So I've included your questions in the review, and I'd like to thank Microsoft for sending over the review copy. Let's get into this. I'm excited because this is Halo 5, and I've been waiting quite some time, even though I'm not playing with my old best friend. How times change. Let's do it. As a new threat emerges from the fringes of the galaxy, Master Chief and his Spartan 2 squad mates, Blue Team, disappear. Faced with the growing question over their loyalty, the United Nations Space Command dispatches Spartan, Jameson Locke, and his unit, Fireteam Osiris, to locate them and solve the mystery of their disappearance before the solar system is overrun. Let me just say, as a character, Agent Locke is boring. There's nothing to get around this. He's a boring character, he's paint by numbers, there's nothing redeeming about him in this game. I don't care about his character. The fact that I am forced into playing what I consider more Agent Locke than Master Chief is a travesty. And in saying that, when you play this game as Master Chief, it is badass. It works well, everything controls, I'm gonna get into it, but the point here is, I want to be Master Chief the whole game. And I'm a little disappointed that I am forced to play as Agent Locke, who, again, is just a boring character, and he really doesn't bring anything to the story. It's not like he has a super important role in this. It's like a placeholder that you just kind of ignore and you go, fine, I'll deal with it. I'll just keep going until I get to the Master Chief moments in the game. There's not enough Master Chief in the game. You've got tons of different varieties, different missions, and different aspects to the missions that you haven't quite seen in a Halo game, but it's not like it's gonna blow your mind. And when it comes to what you're doing in the game, it's really a back and forth struggle between Agent Locke and Master Chief. Master Chief is there to basically find Cortana and deal with her, while Agent Locke, for reasons that are kind of unknown, is sort of like dumb. He's just a dumb character who has been ordered to make Master Chief stand down and let everybody else handle the situation. But here's a question, and I'm going to leave it at that for the story. Master Chief has saved the day how many times now? 4 for you guys? And in the 5th game you've decided maybe Master Chief has went rogue. Oh god, Agent Locke, you're an assassin, dude. You're good now. Go and find him. Like, just really? I'm so disappointed in the story in this, but it does have the best cinematics I've ever seen in a Halo game ever, period. And these are pre-rendered scenes which start the game off, and the rendered in-game cinematics, which are just fucking kick-ass. They get you into it, and then you get into the pacing, which... no, the pacing in this game is so bad that it left me wondering, why? Why have you taken us from this epic moment and just dropped this back down into the shit, slow, stale, repetitive Halo that we're used to? There are problems with the story and the pacing in this, and those are going to be essentially the biggest problems with this game, because everything else is up there and it's good, so I give it a thumbs up. But let's move on from the story. The game spans 3 worlds with the usual Halo feel in terms of map design. Vehicles are of course back into the game, and they control exactly as you would hope they would. One thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was the choice to recycle the same end boss over and over and over and over and over. Halo 5 spans 3 different epic worlds that some of the missions are awesome. There's a mission that I absolutely love where you're running down one of the Guardians, and whoa, it's you've got adrenaline in your blood. You're pumped. It's in your system. You're feeling it. You're like, finally, I get the feeling of what they wanted you to feel to be a Spartan. So that happens in the game. And some of the settings totally remind me of really, it reminds me of Aliens. Yeah, like Alien 2. There are moments where you're on bases and you're talking to people, just walking around, absorbing the atmosphere. And those moments are awesome. So in terms of settings, there's a lot of repetitiveness in this. And I wouldn't say that it's a linear game because Halo games are not linear. This is an open world feel, but the way it's designed makes it feel linear. There are moments where there are shields that you have to disable, and you could do that by shooting the power out or just shooting the shield generator itself. Those moments are just, they're like, maybe we should find the two options, and they're so obvious that you're like, oh, okay, 101 game design, we figured it out, yay, this is fun. One other thing I have to say here, as you're going through the story mode, you're constantly facing the exact same boss over and over and over again, and all they do is change how many of him you face. He's kind of a soul type character who can go into different bodies, and there's dialogue that tells you, oh, he's got millions of bodies, so if you kill him, he will live forever. Really? That's what we're gonna get here? So I'm gonna go to the end of mission, say 3, face him, kill him, and go, cool, that was awesome. But no, here he is again with Agent Locke. Here he is with Master Chief. Here, now there's 2 of them. Now there's 5 of them. Really? This is so lazy in design that I can't give it a thumbs up. Boss battles in this are weak as shit. There are definitely mid-boss battles, sort of smaller boss battles that are fun, but you've kind of done that. Like, it kind of reminded me of Halo 3 when you faced the giant enemies that came out of nowhere and you were like, whoa, this is not normal in a Halo game, this is awesome. Same thing here, except it's the same dude over and over. And what just a letdown. I mean, it sounds like I'm going hard on this game. I think if you watch other reviews, a lot of people will agree with me that the repetitiveness of the boss battles is disgusting. If you're going to experience this game with single player and no co-op, you're going to have to deal with AI characters that seem to come directly out of Halo 2. The AI. Oh my god, it seems like I am like a Sony fanboy today, but no, I'm not. I play all games. I love video games. So when I say this part, it's gonna start to sound like I hate this game, but I actually don't hate the game. There are good aspects to it, but the AI teammate characters that you are forced into using because they've decided to turn this into a 4-player, online-only co-op game. You can't play split screen with your friend on the couch. Online, offline, you can't do it. That is fucking ridiculous. Now, when you're put into a game where you are forced to use just inferior teammates, it is frustrating. Not only do I not give a flying shit about these characters because A, you never really get to know them because it's just dialogue. And may I just add in, the dialogue is playing out, and some of it being very important, as you're playing the mission. And you're trying to listen while you're getting your ass shot at, and you're exploding, and things are blowing up. You can't fucking hear it. Like, I don't understand that design. Anyways, holy shit. This AI is frustrating as hell because now it's an online co-op game and it's offline. You can't even do matchmaking to get... Oh, I'll get into that. Listen, I'm just fucking angry today. You know why? Because there's so much in this game that could have been done better, and I'm so disappointed. Finally, let me just say this. The AI had moments of brilliant combat. Like, I sat back and watched them. They handled combat. They dealt with enemies that I assigned them to. By the way, when you start the game off, you're not told that you can assign your teammates to take down an enemy or stand in a certain position. What? Why didn't you tell me that from the beginning? You don't find out until like mission 3 or 4 that you can control them on the D-pad. So, whatever. I guess you gotta figure that out yourself nowadays. but holy shit, they make some dumb decisions, and when you get knocked down in this game, you will be frustrated to all hell, because you have the option to hit the X button and call for help, or just die out. Why is that even an option? Why don't they just try to rescue you right away? I guess what they were trying to do is say, look around you, determine the situation, then hit X when you think they've got a good shot to basically save you. Here's one other thing. Master Chief's always been a badass. You see him on the ground begging for help. Just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. Unlike previous games in the Halo franchise, Halo 5 will not feature any offline capabilities, including the split-screen competitive campaign and multiplayer levels. It will also not have any local networking options. What? This one is just baffling to me. They took away the offline local multiplayer. The reason why I kind of want to play this game, to go to my friend's house and hook my system up to my own TV and hook his up and have groups of friends and tournaments. What is the meaning of this? What does this have to do with esports? I know that Halo is something to do. I'm not going to get into it. You guys can debate all you want below on why they took this out, but I have to say, what a dumb fucking decision. Unbelievable. One of the best couch multiplayer experiences I ever had growing up is now yanked out of it. I don't get it. Like, I honestly don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Two new abilities that stand out to me involve the thruster pack. I mean, the wall smash dash attack is awesome. And then you also have the airdrop attack that uses your thruster. And wow, it's awesome. Steve asks, do Locke and Chief have a different feel from each other? If so, does this damage the flow of the game at all? Also, I'm coming down there and eating hot dogs with you when the game comes out or something like that. That's a good question. Master Chief and Agent Locke control the exact same way, feel the exact same way. I didn't notice anything that was different here, and that is one of the problems in this game. If they feel the exact same as each other, I have an idea. I enjoy Master Chief more because I emotionally connect to him. I don't give a shit about Agent Locke. I do wish there was an option to just use Master Chief the whole time, but then the story wouldn't make sense, and the whole idea of having 4-player co-op wouldn't make sense either, because you go through these missions, and if you're with your friends and you're playing it as Agent Locke, you're using his teammate, and if you're doing Master Chief, you're using his teammates. So I get it. It's about multiplayer, but I just think it was a bad decision overall to have this as this like online experience that's only online. Everything's online. Mike asks, can you do online co-op matchmaking story mode? No, you can't. You can't use matchmaking in the campaign for the co-op. You have to play with friends that you know and love. What? Bryce asks, does it still feel like Halo, or does it feel like it borrowed too much from other shooters? That's a good question. Does it feel like Halo? It does and it doesn't. It feels like Halo because of the mission structures. They're gigantic. You go from point A to point B, pushing a lot of fucking buttons as usual, but also shooting a lot of different enemies that are very vertical. So I do like the aspect of it going from, not only from like a massive landmass, but also going up the sides of buildings and up and down, and it's all about verticality, and I do like that in a shooter because it gives you a new level of strategy to how you want to come up to a situation. So if there's like an enemy in front of you, you might notice that you can go up to the balcony, but you can only do that by running and jumping, and in this game you now grab the edges, which is awesome. Welcome addition. So when you grab the edge, you can get up to higher levels, and boom, now you're shooting these dudes from the side and you're handling the situations how you want to handle them. So it does work. And listen, I've shit on the game almost up until this point. I haven't been hard on it, guys. I haven't been hard on this game at all. I'm telling you the honest truth here. I'm so disappointed in the story, but gameplay-wise, let me just say that it does work. Does it work as some other shooters that are out there right now? No, I mean, Destiny is a smooth-ass shooter, and if you talk about Destiny and you say any good aspects about that, it is the shooting, and that's why people play it, because Bungie made it. But when you go over to 343 Industries, it's not as smooth. It's kind of, it's very hard to explain unless you pick it up yourself, but it's like they took the Halo feeling and the vibe, and I'm just saying it, they tossed in some Call of Duty, very fast-paced shooter feeling, and it's got this, I mean, it's smooth. It's 60 frames per second, but it's scaling. How this works is some new technology that they've invented, so if the game gets heavy and shit's getting crazy on screen, the system automatically drops the resolution to keep it at 60 frames per second. What I did notice is, because you don't notice it on the whole picture, you notice that scaling effect on the enemies only. And it's this very weird feeling where you're shooting at an enemy and he'll be moving at a different frame rate than everything else all of a sudden. What? That took me out of the game. So this scale system works really well because it never drops below 60 frames per second, and that's just in your motion. Sometimes the enemies will jitter. And I thought, wow, like, okay, that's a decision they made. I got the 60 frames per second on my end of things, but it does take you out of it.
Jack and JB, they both asked me the same question, including a lot of other people that asked me on my Twitter and Facebook, is it worth purchasing an Xbox One for?
That's a good question. I'm going to answer that at the end of the next part of this, which comes Wednesday. I have to just say this in closing. Single player. Is it a letdown? Absolutely. Is it a complete shit show? Like, is it a 5 out of 10? No, it isn't. Because of the fact that the verticality saves this game for me personally. The missions are designed for you to find different routes through them. Yes, you can go from point A to point B just staying on that single plane of existence and going right through it right until the end. Of course you can do that. That's not how you want to play this game though. I'll say this, when you play this game with your friends online and have 3 people joining you on your team, it is it's just awesome. You'll have a great time. You'll talk to each other and talk about what you should be doing. The story is just fluff at this point in time, and I'm just disappointed.